patterns, finger patterns. Talking about fingerboard geography, there's often discussion of finger patterns. What's the usual range of distance between the first and fourth finger when you do a hand frame?
4.
4. So, and how many steps then?
2.5.
2.5, right, okay. So, of course there are lots of different patterns we can have. And it's interesting in reading about it, the different ways people are deciding what to call each pattern. So I've put 3 of them here so that we could just do a brief comparison of them. One of the famous ones, of course, is Bornoff. And George Bornoff called his book Finger Patterns, a Basic Method from 1948. So I don't know how many people are familiar with the book. They used it quite a bit in Cambridge Public Schools.
I've seen them.
For a long
There's
time.
a copy of
many
it
of
if
them.
anyone wants to see it. There's a copy behind you.
You have them,
I
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You
So,
want me to get it?
Center has.
yeah, sure, why not? It's always good to have a
Fiddle.
visual aid, yeah. And the pictures will be better than what I've got here.
We have a different
Yeah.
challenge. And we're always teaching nobody. Nobody has any music before so
Right, there you go.
Visually used one.
Yeah.
I can't read it.
Bornoff's Finger Patterns for Violin. So, you have the pictures there in front of you, and he does it in sequence of fingers. First and second finger together is the first pattern, second and third together, third pattern, third and fourth together. Fourth pattern is an augmented pattern with 3 whole steps, an augmented hand frame, but he lowers the first degree, so he brings the hand down to the first, what Tartini called the first position. Gimignani did not, but Tartini did. So that's kind of interesting. And then the 5th finger pattern, it's kind of like the 3rd finger pattern, but in half position, what we're calling half position now. So then, and we'll play some of these in a minute. So prepare yourself. You'll notice he's got a finger pattern chart after that, and we can investigate that a little more in a minute. And how to use his finger pattern chart. If you skip to about 5 pages into this section, it's called A Systematic Table of Finger Patterns, and that's from Robert Girl's book, The Art of Practicing the Violin.
That's G-E-R-L-E.
G-E-R-L-E from 1983.
I have it.
So Bornoff has 5 patterns, and Robert Girl has 23 patterns. So that's a lot. That's a lot. But it's interesting to read the analysis, and of course, as the teachers we are, in the end we decide what we're going to use, right? So he has 23. Then, if you go to, and why don't we look at his for just a moment? So he's got the first pattern for him is the half step is between 3 and 4. Second pattern, half step is between 2 and 3. Then 1 and 2 is the third pattern, and then he has the augmented pattern for the 4th pattern, and then he has the augmented second version for the 5th pattern. So, and then a zillion more of them, which you can read a page that's hopefully there's a colored page if I put them in correctly. This one.
Oh, that kind of color.
Oh, this is fun.
Wow. Yeah.
Right, and you've probably seen Barbara Barber's new book, I guess, on
That's also got very beautiful.
Fingerboard Geography. Yeah, I think I brought it actually. So, this is, I have the big version here too. So she will do a bunch of things from the book, but she has 12 finger patterns, you notice. Okay, so hers are more designed to go with the Suzuki rep. So her first pattern is a high 2, then a low 2, then a high 3, and then augmented. So it's different, it's not sequential. It might be sequential with the repertoire. So that'd be for all of you Suzuki teachers who know it. The sequence is better than I, to help with that. So she has these charts, which are, I think, pretty handy, actually. You know, so you put that on your wall. Okay. And, yeah. Sleepy. Be careful how long you stare at it. But it's handy. So, and then she has the smaller version that you can have. So it has all of them. Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting ahead of things. So does she use the actual colors? Do you, on the top of a piece, do you write this is a green piece or something?
She has yeah, that's kind of how it works. She refers to the color, not a pattern number. Yeah, so you don't say pattern 3, you say pattern blue.
Hey, can I see the front of that?
Oh, sure, you can. Yeah.
How interesting is you?
Yeah,
It's quite new, right?
it's quite new, yeah. 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 So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. So she has 12 figure patterns. And then there's an article in here, which I put in, and I think we should all play this and have some fun with it. This is I got this out of, well, the American String Teacher, from a long time ago, pretty long, and 1990, so that's a while ago. I dare say Mr. Slowick doesn't look as young anymore. That's a long time ago, right? 21 years ago.
We all do.
None of us do, right? Yeah. So, in any case, maybe he does. In any case, if you look at the top of the second page, he uses the patterns kind of the same as Bornoff, actually, in sequential order, which is, for my way of thinking, that's kind of how my brain works, but certainly not the only way to do it. So if we were to notice what he does, he calls it pick 4. So those numbers in the left column represent the pattern number. So you take that pattern and you play the first 2 fingers close together for pattern 1. Then that way, okay? So let's each do one.
So can we just spell this out? Sorry.
Oh, sure.
So there's 4 patterns
Mm-hmm.
and 4 strings.
There are.
So we're doing a different pattern on each string is what this sequence of numbers that you just...
Right, not necessarily. I mean, you know, a fun game would be if you had 4 numbers in a hat and you pull them out. You know, you could do something like that where everybody gets to pick a different sequence. I guess they all would be different that way unless you put 4 of each number in a hat, right? And then you would. So he's got one there that says 3 3 3 3. So all of those
So
are
on
the same.
each string you would play high 3rd finger.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody want to try?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, good. So let's do it. You want to do it together?
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
It'll be parallel this. It'll be great.
Okay. So let's do the first one. We'll just do the 4 he has there. So 1 2 3 4. So let's start on right because you're playing viola.
Am I the only one? Oh no, didn't turn on.
Okay. Yeah. So let's play the first pattern on the low string, second pattern on the next string, and so on. Okay? Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Great.
And then, so you leave out the open strings because then when you move to some other position, you wouldn't have.
Right, right, yeah.
Because some of his examples.
Yeah. So let's do the next one then. 3, 1, 4, 1. Okay? From the lowest string again. Here we go. Then he, plays a game. You can play games going around in circles and people calling out different numbers. You can. What?
I'm sorry, I just wiped your viola, but I think it's in the paper.
Cello.
What about the art?
A dangerous encounter. Yeah. So then he also suggests that you block the fingers in the air and then put them down. Right, which is pretty tricky. So I suggest we do just the second pattern, because I tried it this morning and it's not that easy. So let's do the second pattern and on all 4 strings. Okay, so let's block them above the string, drop them down.
2 and 3.
Right, drop them down and then go to the next string and do it that way. Okay, so let's block them in the air. Okay, bunny ears, right? Okay, so now drop them down. Okay, and then maybe play backwards. Okay. Right. Okay, and now the next string. Drop them. I didn't do very well. And the next one. And in the air, and then drop them, and then play. Right. So that's kind of an interesting game, I think you can play with your students, and that's I think it's a very well written article, and I'm always happy when I find these things and I save them.